Your authenticity is a gift. I'm here with Kim McClure, and she'll tell you all about her title and who she is and her story. We're here at Discovery Christian Church, and I am your host, Marta Saray Greca. I am a financial strategist with my one business that I own, and I'm also a marketing strategist with Mission Sarah Media, where we get leads for our clients within days, increasing their revenue and growth. And Kim, tell them who you are. What's your title and what's your story? Let's just go with that.
Yeah, sounds good. Thanks for having me. So I am a national sales leader, and I'm part of a direct selling company that's been in the beauty and skincare space for over 60 years. I've been building my business for over 34 years.
Nice.
And God gave me this idea to write this book. And it was a little intimidating because I'd been asked to write a book before, and I was too nervous and like, oh, I just didn't think I could do that. And then honestly, your book inspired me.
Oh, awesome. Thank you.
And so I was walking around the track at the Y, and God just said, you should write a book and collect stories.
Yes.
And that's kind of how it got started.
Awesome. Okay, so tell me a little bit about your chapter. I know that each chapter, what I loved about it was like the gift of this, the gift of this, the gift of this. Yours was the gift of authenticity, right?
Yes.
And so tell me about that. I know that part of the chapter, because obviously I read it, because we were going to get together.
Yeah.
And we're doing some promo for you and your book. It talks about you really pushing hard to meet a goal and then feeling like you let people down. You hadn't gotten it, and then you pull yourself by the bootstraps and you got it going and you made it happen. But there's another part of that too.
Right.
Can you share a little bit about that?
Right. More about that part specifically?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. So, as you're growing in leadership abilities, you discover so much about yourself, right? And I knew that I wanted this really huge goal. It was an important goal for our whole family as well. And in the process of that, I was finding myself holding back. And I grew up in an age where I was trying to fit in. I think we all are trying to fit in our whole life. So I did a lot of things when I was younger that I really wasn't proud of, things that I wish I could go back and undo. And some of those things, I felt like if people knew that about me, that you wouldn't respect me, you wouldn't want to be...
Oh, people are calling in.
Oh,
They
yes.
want to talk to us. The phone is ringing off the hook.
Okay, good. Like this is real life.
This
It's
is like
life,
a
right?
happy moment too.
Right.
So it's nice to have, God was like, here, let me make a little joke.
Yeah, well, it's actually my alarm, so it might play for like a minute. Should I just go shut it off?
Why do you do that? Okay, awesome.
I'm
So,
like,
but I
there
love
we
that
go.
you're talking about that, Kim, because especially being a financial strategist, I am someone who I was very adamant about being really vocal about my story. I can really relate to that because I went through like a dumpster fire of finances, part of it my doing, part of it the economy, part of it I think God was just trying to correct my path, which was what I talked about in my last book, Course Corrected. Little plug there. You can get it on Amazon.
Yep.
You can hear all about the dirty, nitty-gritty details, and I'm so glad I did that. Because when I will go and post in Facebook groups about my services as a financial strategist, I'll get haters because you can see my broker check. You can look me up. You can see my judgments, my settlements, how much debt I took out, just from a place of my marketing agency was expanding. And so I took leverage out thinking it was going to continue to expand and I wanted to prepare for it. And then it contracted big time, way quicker than I could keep up with during some personal tragedies. And it everything fell apart financially. And so I like to be very open about that. In fact, publish a best-selling book about it.
Right.
And talk about it again and again, because then when we'll call them the haters, but they're just humans, right? Like we're going to send them love. And they're like, why do not take advice from this woman. Check out her broker check. And it's like, yeah, I mean, I published a whole book about it. Like,
Right.
That's why I'm good at my job.
Right.
And that's what made me a financial strategist, because I needed to get, with God's help, learn and get myself out of it and make smarter choices and learn from the lessons and how many millionaires, billionaires have gone through multiple bankruptcies? And that's not that I'm
Right.
and I didn't. I was close to it. I couldn't, and I would have if I could have. That would have actually been a lot easier. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, but it's always that's the easy path to take.
Yeah, but it's also a
rebuilding.
very not to devalue when somebody went through that path, because it's also a very hard decision, and it is still a process, and it's
Right.
not like you can just write off all your debt. It's still a process, and it's still like it's still very complicated. But what I'm saying is like, I'm not celebrating them, but I know that there's many successful people who have fallen on their face, and some of the biggest names in financial literacy and strategy and advisors and planners have their story of falling apart financially, and that's how they got started. So I really resonated. I was trying to like ad lib while your phone rang, but it actually took me somewhere nice.
Right,
So,
right,
anyways,
right.
you
And-
were sharing.
yeah,
Back to you.
yeah.
Back to you.
And so I just felt like with the decisions that I'd made that were not good girl decisions at all, and there are things that I can't undo, that if people really knew that, they wouldn't respect me. They wouldn't want me as their friend. They wouldn't want me as a leader and as a coach and a mentor. And so when you put up a wall, then you're pushing people away. And you're putting up a wall that doesn't let God love you the same way. He's there, but I couldn't receive it. And so I was afraid to have deep conversations with people, that they might pick up on it, and so I was actually leading a Bible study, Joyce Meyer's Battlefield of the Mind.
Okay.
And it was the third time that I'd gone through the book, like you would think, oh, sure, you get everything the first time,
we're
but
always
do
healing.
we ever?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah. And the chapter was about shame and guilt. And I was just like, it was choking me, literally. And at the end, two of my friends stayed that I really respected. I'm like, hey, I need to talk to you about this. And so I shared with them, and they were like, Kim, if you had cancer 20 years ago, would you still be speaking about it as if it was happening right now in that same way? And I was like, no, but it was my son was at the same age that I was when I made some of those decisions. And so I think too, when our kids are going through things that were pivotal times in our lives, it stirs things up, more for us. And so, I prayed and asked God just to take that burden from me and to forgive me for my pride, thinking that my sin was so big, so much bigger than anybody else's, and to ask him to forgive me for not accepting his great love and what he did on the cross, for us. And that was like, it broke the dam, because suddenly I wasn't afraid of what other people would know,
Yes.
and so it was just literally breaking the chains that were holding me down. And then you felt so free, and then I could truly be me because I didn't have to worry. And I knew that was really the enemy who was just, had his claws in me to keep me from fulfilling the calling that was on my life. That God had placed on my life to move into this top leadership position. And then when you can truly be you, it's just more attractive energy, and you're more excited and you're just free. And the people that are really supposed to be connected to you can, because that wall, that barrier isn't there anymore.
Yeah, absolutely. People can tell. They can't quite put their finger on it, but they can tell.
Right.
And that that resonates with me. In regards to the shame. Obviously, there was a lot of shame around the financial situation, because it was like, I had made it. I had made it from this little Italian immigrant from nothing. I had built this agency with a team and an office and studio and amazing revenue and clientele, being featured here and there. And then it was kind of like, God humbled me. God definitely used that moment to humble me, and that was important that happened. And I talk about it in the first 2 episodes of this show, which are a little unhinged. I'll be honest with you. They're a little unhinged. But I talk about the shame of how that affected my relationship with the Catholic Church and how my kids were going to private education there. And I know you and I have that in common as well, and how that led me to wanting to become closer to Jesus. And I was like, well, I've been baptized by the Pope. My dad worked for the Vatican. I'm from Rome. I've been Catholic. Like every summer in like a seminary or a convent, with 6 a.m. quiet prayer time and silent retreats. Like as Catholic as you can get. And I did not feel connected to Jesus. I always felt a special connection with God, but they're one and the same, right?
Right.
And so and my husband didn't come to church with us. He was, he converted to Catholicism to be married, but he just never felt connected to it. And so we were like, we need to do something to connect with Jesus and like also re-strengthen our marriage because of all this difficulty. And we were like, well, we've been utilizing that church up the street for we've been exploiting all their free stuff. We might as well try them out. If anything, that's going to be the easiest thing to get us to church on a Sunday when we can't barely keep our eyes open.
Yeah.
So, and every time I come here at Discovery Church, I cry, I happy tears. The music moves me. We have a community again.
Community is everything, isn't it?
It is.
It's not everything. Jesus is everything.
Yeah, but it's
the
a big
community around that,
Yeah.
of like-minded people.
Yeah.
So Discovery Church is amazing.
Yeah, and they've been supportive of allowing me to use the space. And by the way, you can rent any room.
Yeah.
Pretty much here for what you would like to do, events,
Right.
productions, parties. They've got the free play area right next door. If you hear little kids screaming, for once it's not my own. For once it's like other people's kids, which is fine by me. And
the mini golf, there's free mini golf here, 9 to 4, Monday through Saturday.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
And if you can't make it to church on Sunday, they have the Thursday evening services. It's a great deal for us. We're a family of 9, and it's $20. And my kids are like, "Are we going to church tonight? What's on the menu?" It's like
menu?
Panda Express. What's it been? What else?
They've had Moe's, Chipotle.
Yes.
They've had
A local
Olive
caterer.
Garden.
Yeah, that's right. We were cater for Olive
Ryan
Garden, right?
from Chopped Catering.
Yeah, that was the first night.
Yeah, so he does cater sometimes too. So
and they're great because my husband has a severe gluten intolerance, and they make sure even if the vendor didn't have an option, that they go in the kitchen and they make him a fresh meal for him to be able to enjoy.
Yeah.
So they really think about everybody.
Everybody.
In that sense, we love it.
Right. $5 per person, capped at
Capped
20.
at 20.
At
So
20.
it's like,
where
I'm
do you
really
feed
getting,
9 people?
I'm really getting. We don't go out to eat. Are you joking?
Right.
Just because from the standpoint of my husband's such a great cook. He's he's
so
like
lucky.
it makes much more sense for me to cook at home. We like his cooking way better than anybody else's. And so our kids is really a treat to come here and go out to eat because otherwise we're going out to even McDonald's. It's
right.
We're talking 6 figures. I'm just kidding.
It's a lot,
But
though. It's a lot.
This isn't even worth it,
Happy Meals for 7 kids is not happy on your pocketbook,
It's like, man. And now I have teenagers and they got to get their protein.
Oh,
so
yeah.
It's a whole other
It's
story.
a whole thing.
It's a whole other story. So anyways, your book launches October 6th.
Yep.
And there are how many authors in it?
There's a total of 12 of us.
Okay, awesome.
Women that I've known and done life with and business with for years together. And so I'm so proud of each of my fellow authors.
Yeah, I
and
bet.
love the stories in there. And even though I know them, knowing them deeper, and the gift that we all had discovered in the process of doing a great work, because I think so often people give up when it's not easy.
Okay.
And it's messy in the middle as you're doing things and growing businesses and skills and programs and podcasts and all of the different things. And so it's some people think that the gift is the ultimate product, whatever it is, but the true gift is who you become and what you discover in the process and how that impacts your life and how it impacts other people's life as well. So it's I didn't know that in the process of working to finish that big goal that I was going to be blessed, I think, the most with and my family and future generations, of that gift of authenticity.
Yeah, and we're building a legacy with that.
Yeah.
With that gift of authenticity. Okay, awesome. And your launch is virtual, so it's not something people can physically go to, or can they virtually go to it?
They're going to be able to virtually go to
awesome.
it. So it'll be YouTube. that will be on a
Okay.
YouTube link,
Okay.
and then also probably into Facebook as well.
Okay,
So we're working
wonderful.
out the logistics
Yeah.
of all of those details.
Where can they look out for those details?
So on my Facebook page,
Okay.
so Kim
You'll share
McClure
on there.
or Kim L. McClure on Instagram,
Okay.
or kimlmcclure@gmail.com. Email me, and then I can send you the link when we have it and give you the details.
Wonderful.
And we're going to have some good giveaways too.
I hope I can make
so
it.
I hope
Some
so
good
too.
lipstick. I'm
Yeah.
just kidding. But
we're gonna have other bigger giveaways
which, by the way,
too.
I was thinking about that. I mean, if you're listening to this, you can't see it, but like my lipstick is completely gone by now. I was like, I should ask Kim to ship a lipstick sample for this, but I was like, forget it.
I'll hook you up.
I'm always drinking a water or like a tea or a decaf coffee, and so it's like it's always gone anyway. But
There's some tricks I can help you with.
that's another episode
Yeah.
you got to tell me about. Okay, so speaking of launches, by the way, we have a book, myself and 8 other ladies, and it's called Completely Wealthy. It's the ultimate guide for financial guide for women
Love
looking
that.
to build a legacy with wealth. And it, I am like a big reader, and I geek out over books on finances, obviously for obvious reasons.
Right.
And this book addresses it all, and that was my goal with it. It was like one of the first projects in a long time that I was like, I couldn't wait to like tell people about it. I couldn't wait to describe it to people. I couldn't wait to write the offer letter, and I was like, yes, 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 and easy yeses. And we're supporting the whole woman reading this book, and it is mindset, spiritual, strategy, facts,
Yep.
fun, also recalibration. It's like we're supporting the whole human with women from 8 different industries on how to embody your wealthiest self and be able to hold space for it for the long term. Because
I love that.
I think at the time when I acquired great wealth, I felt like I did all this healing and I had made it and I could hold it, but my journey wasn't over yet. And also that's a part of the wisdom too. It's
Right.
there's the ups and the downs, and the downs aren't forever and the ups aren't forever.
Right.
So, just go along for the ride with
Yeah.
God, and it's
I love that.
Jesus take the
And I
wheel
think
type thing.
too, when you write a book like that on a topic just like this with the gift of great work,
Yes.
if you look at an author who would write about great work, it would be just their opinion on all of that. And so when you're getting 8 different women's input from their various backgrounds, and the same as with our book, that the gift of encouragement and the gift of belief and the gift of collecting people, because no great work comes all by yourself. There's always people that are involved
that's right.
with it.
That's
and
right.
And so you're getting different perspectives of people who've done that and pulled it all together in that. And it's also based on Nehemiah chapter 6, verse 3 is our book.
Okay, good to know.
I'm
What
doing
is
a
that
great
one?
work and I cannot come down. And so as Nehemiah, sought God's direction and help, and he enlisted in, the army of people to rebuild the wall, which had been in ruins for over a century, that they rebuilt it in 52 days.
Wow.
Because God rebuilt it,
Yeah,
in the
wasn't a
process
human.
of that. And they were, having naysayers and discouragement and fatigue. And, God just showed up. And then when they were working on the wall 4 times, people kept coming to Nehemiah and saying, you need to come and meet with us, and he's like, I can't stop the great work. And in the process of doing great work, there's always distractions, and that you can go off in a different direction and not finish what you're being called to do, or the distraction stops you and you never go back to things. And so this book is kind of based off of that as a theme of the great work
I love that.
we're all doing.
I didn't realize that. I'm sure it's in the introduction, and
It's
didn't
kind of
absorb it.
woven
Yeah.
throughout.
I can't wait
and,
to read the whole thing.
and the last chapter I think really pulls that all together really well.
Good. I can't wait to read the whole thing, and I hope you're okay with this. Whenever I read anthologies, I make sure to message each individual lady and
Yes.
tell them why I love their chapter,
Oh,
what I
yes.
loved about it. Because I feel like when I get those messages, it's like, you just gave me the biggest gift in the world. Like, you actually read my book? Like,
Right.
my reaction is typically like, you read my book? Like, I'm like, what'd you think? Like, are you okay?
Yeah.
Like, Do you still
Of
like
course,
me as a person?
because you're a great writer with a great message and a great story, my friend.
Yeah, thanks. Likewise, I loved your chapter, and I can't wait for everybody to read it. So we'll look out for the details on your book launch. Ours is October. Nope. Yes, ours is October 1st, and
Mine's October 6th.
Hers is October 6th, the virtual. Mine's not to confuse you, mine's October 1st in person at the club in Allison Park. It is an invigorating experience for you to embody your completely wealthy self, and you also get a copy of the book. There's going to be speakers, food, wine, beer, drinks, just a good time of us living in our, highest possible self in God's name. And also, I have an event coming up last Thursday in October, and you'd think I'd know the date by now since I put the whole thing together and it was my idea, but just look at your calendar. Last Thursday in October, also at the club, to benefit Treasure House Fashions, we're going to have a trick-or-treating night for moms and women. Those of us who the few days later we're going to be going trick-or-treating with our kids. No, it's for us mom to get treats like makeup samples and little lotions and bath bombs and face masks and even there will be treats. There will be food, there will be snacks, there will be drinks included in your ticket price, and all proceeds beyond cost go to Treasure House Fashions from the event.
Such a great.
It's
I
free
think
to
it's
be
the
a vendor.
29th of October.
Is it?
29th.
Is
I
it?
think it's
Okay.
October 29th.
Great.
Yeah.
Hopefully you guys aren't too busy with your kids.
Yeah.
And hopefully
Come.
I haven't accidentally scheduled something on a night that my kids have something at their school.
Right.
But
and hopefully there's not a local neighborhood trick or treat on that
yeah,
time
who
or
knows?
something.
But
right?
I put it together. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and
It'll be great.
It's free to be a vendor. We hope to attract 50 to 100 women. Obviously, your contribution as a vendor, and Kim's coming, is to provide little treats, gifts, surprises for 50 attendees, 50 to 100 attendees, and get your name out there.
Yeah.
And it's also a way to support small businesses in the area. Mm-hmm. That's it, guys. That's all. That's all we have for you. Thanks for being here. Again, we're at Discovery Church. You can reserve any room here for your own production, event, party. Obviously, join us on Sundays. You go Sundays. Mine is 11 a.m. Sundays.
I'm usually 9:30.
All right, so that's why we don't see each other.
I know.
Okay.
Only in the passing.
In the passing. That's right. Yeah. So I'm
yeah.
11 a.m. We actually haven't been in a month. We would watch online because my car was totaled, which is a whole other story. Which was a God story, by the way. I just kept waiting around for the car to show up, and I was like, maybe I should pray about it. Sure enough, within the next day, God was like, oh, okay, here's that car you wanted. You just needed to come ask for it. He's funny that way. But but anyways, I come on to church on Sundays at 11 a.m. Kim comes at 9:30. Mm-hmm. You'll see one of us. Mm-hmm. Yep. Or choose the Thursday evening service that comes with dinner at an incredible price.
Right. Sometimes we're here Thursdays too.
And also us.
Yeah.
Sometimes you'll see me Thursdays as well. All right. Well, we hope to see you. And again, I'm Marta Saray-Greca. I'm your host. I'm a financial strategist. I help families account for every dollar and grow it and expand it and build a legacy for futures to come. Remember, old money started with someone. Do you want to be that someone? And this show is produced by Whole Truth Communications, which is a subsidiary of Mission Sierra Media, for which I am a marketing strategist with my brother Michelle Saray, who is a genius. We get our clients 10 times ROI in some cases, leads within days of working together, repeated day after day in a way that's manageable, attainable, aligned with you and your ideal clients. And they're actually leads that convert and expand your revenue and growth for the long term. Bye, everyone. Hopefully I remember to say everything. And if not, remember to leave us a 5-star review, subscribe, leave a comment wherever you're watching or listening. We just want to hear from you that you listened. If you send me a text, send Kim a text. Hey, I listened to your episode. Here's why it resonated. We love to hear that. Bye, everyone.
Bye.